So I will start with the agenda first. I think till now everything is like you all are comfortable sitting and I'm clearly audible, no internet breaks or anything. If that is the case, let's write in the chat box start. Okay. So this workshop we have designed in a very different way. It's not like the usual workshop where one speaker comes and speak and gives lot of information, but these will have very important points so that you guys can use in the school and kids can learn. Okay. So the agenda for today's workshop is we have divided this workshop in 3 sessions. So after 2 sessions, we will be having a break. In first session, we will be introducing about different IT curriculums in India, and we will compare that with of the USA. Also, after first session, we will be having a very important session of artificial intelligence. In that session, we will be having introduction to AI. We will have some activities. We will train machine, and you all can train a machine. You all will be able to make an AI machine. And then we will be sharing many learning resources for upskilling yourselves and to students. After that, we will have a 10 minutes of break, and then we will start with cybersecurity. In cybersecurity, Sarika will be discussing details about cybersecurity, cyber safety, and things to do, not to do by students. We will show you how hackers hack your phone, hack your information with many activities, and in the end, we will be sharing learning resources for you and for your students. After these sessions, we'll have a Q&A session. If you have any questions, doubts, you can ask. And once we are done with it, then in the end, we will award the completion certificate to all those who complete all the sessions. Okay. So this is brief about the agenda. Now, who are we and why are we doing it? Because this is something which might be cropping in your mind, that why these guys are taking time on Sunday and keeping these workshops. So I'll start with Sarika. Sarika, kindly introduce yourself.
Good morning, everyone. I'm very thankful for all of you to show up on a Sunday morning, and we'll try our best to make it worth your while. A brief introduction about myself. I am the CEO of Codju, and before Codju, I have worked in variety of companies. I worked in Microsoft. I have worked in Sumo Logic, which is a data company. I have worked in Logic Hub. I was running a 50 people team out of India as India head and VP of engineering. And Logic Hub is a cybersecurity company. So with all of these experiences, I have also dabbled in teaching students, and I'm trying to combine my passion of computer science with education, because I see a lot of potential in teaching our kids the best in technology space, so that in the next 30 years, when they grow up, they become great technology leaders right out of India. So that's our passion. That's a brief introduction about myself.
Sarika generally doesn't give the complete introduction. She was the rank 1 among girls in IIT 2006. So she topped India among the girls and was all India rank 83. So she's very sharp in computer science and all those skills. And I was her senior in IIT Kanpur, and I did BTech way back in 2008. After that, I worked for 1.5 years in an oil field company of USA. Then I left and I came to Patiala, Punjab, and I started iQuest. So iQuest is basically a coaching institute spread in 3 cities in Punjab, and we are teaching for IIT, medical, and all those exams. In past 12 years, I have taught more than 10,000 students for different exams. And I do own a YouTube channel with the name Math Quest, where I teach for Olympiads. And recently we have started Codju. So this company, we are planning to give the best IT curriculum in the country. The IT curriculum, why I'm saying best and what is the need, I'll come to that later. So before I start, let's see the kind of IT curriculum we have in India right now. So I studied in a very good school. It was a residential school spread over 200 acres. But in my school, there were only 9 computers were there. And when I came in class 11, there was a rule that only 18 students can opt for computer science in class 11th, because there was a policy that 2 students will be sitting on one computer. And because we had 9 computers, only 18 students can sit. So only 18 students will take computer science, rest all will have maths and bio both. So that was the kind of situation way back in 2001 when I did my class 10th, class 11th. So, and sadly, not much has changed. Sadly, not much has changed. The things which we are covering right now in schools are pretty much the same. A little bit differences are there because computers have become better. So number of computers in each school are more, but the kind of curriculum right now which is delivered or the philosophy behind it is mostly the same. I'll tell you what are the pain points. What I feel, I think you guys will agree also. First of all is the priority. Students and parents, they give more priority to the science, maths, these subjects because of the future careers, like they want to see their kids becoming doctors, engineers and all. So this subject, IT subject, takes a back seat. Then there is a huge disconnect. Till class 10th, in every class we have computer science curriculum. Once the student reaches class 11th, more than 50% they opt for science. That is what I see in Punjab. They leave computer science and they take a subject, arbitrary subject like physical education or something, because that is easy. And many schools do not offer computer science as well. So there is a huge disconnect. Whatever they learned till 10th, then they will unlearn it for 2 years. And if they take non-medical or something after class 12th, they will again start computer science. So this is a huge disconnect. Third thing is the content. I have been to many schools in Punjab, and I have seen that each school or most of the schools are using different kind of curriculum. Some school are teaching Python, some schools are still teaching C, some schools are teaching the front end languages and all. There is no fixed content. And sadly, many times this content is old. This is not with the technology which is right now going on. And because there are many factors involved in changing the curriculum, things are not changing the way they should be. CBSE has introduced their syllabus or the curriculum from class 9th itself. I was looking at that, the book which the NCRT gives. Uh, I think students are way smarter than what the content given in that book. Third thing, or the last thing, is the practice. Students, they learn in the classrooms in most of the schools, and in laboratory, there is kind of formality going on. They go, they do random things, and many a times there is a disconnect between what they learn in the classwork, classroom, and what they do in the laboratory. Also, when I was a kid, I in my school also, because the computers were less, same things also is there in these schools, because many a school will have 25, 30, 40 computers, but students are more. So most of the learning takes place in the classroom only, and after they go to home, they do not have anything to do. So these are some pain points which I see uh, in today's IT education in India. I want to ask you guys, do you guys agree to most of these points? Or do you feel, because you are the one who are basically dealing or doing or teaching every single day, do you think that these are the pain points we right now have in India? Or there are some more points also? If there are some more points, then I will take those points in the Q&A session at the end. प्लीज चैट में लिखिए ताकि थोड़ा हम हमें पता चल पाए फीडबैक, और हम थोड़ा इंटरेक्टिव रहें प्लीज. I honestly believe that in any school, the computer science teacher should be the most respected figure. Why? I'll tell you. Because you guys have the power to change the future of the country. I teach mathematics, but a mathematics teacher do not have the power to change the future, because I can teach them maths, they can probably clear a good exam. But if we teach them right technology, by sitting at the home, they can build big companies. So that is what our aim is, that is what our mission is, to provide that kind of support to you guys, to schools, so that we can teach them better. All right. Now, what should be an ideal IT curriculum? What should be an ideal IT curriculum? So we have researched almost all the curriculums in the world. We have researched curriculum followed in USA, Poland, in Singapore, in Australia, in UK. We have seen it all also in India. So what should be an ideal IT curriculum? So our belief is the ideal IT curriculum should have all major concepts covered. Students should give it a priority, and the good thing about priority is that government has brought NEP 2020, so that is a welcome step. So government is making it compulsory to have skill based education. Students should practice it more. It's not a subject they should be studying in the books. And next thing is, students should be able to relate the future skills with whatever they are studying today. It should not happen in isolation, that they are studying something today and they think that it will not be any of use or to my future. So that should be an ideal curriculum. It should have concepts, practice, priority by the government and the authorities, and skill building part also. So now I'll go briefly about what is going on in the USA. So first thing is, why I have taken USA. So the reason behind taking USA is because most of the technology companies which we use these days, be it WhatsApp, be it Facebook, be it Google, Microsoft, Amazon, or Zoom, whatever, all the companies were started by people in US. I think somebody, one second. I'll close the annotation, है ना? 1 second. Okay, no problem. All right. So all the companies started in USA. I'll give you a good example. So I was born in 1984. The same year, Zuckerberg also born. I was preparing for IIT in India, and he was making softwares. When I joined IIT, he was working on Facebook. When I passed out of IIT, he started Facebook. And you know what he is worth today. And we in India, though we might be very brilliant, but we are following the same things which we used to follow 20 years back. So that's the reason I have taken USA, because I feel that their curriculum is more structured and bit ahead of ours. And in India, because we are also gaining speed, so it's very important to know what's going on in US. So in US, they have a body with the name CSTA, Computer Science Teachers Association. That body has made a curriculum with the name K-12 standards. So these are the standards they have laid for class KG to class 12th. There are more than 1 lakh teachers in that association, and thousands of teachers have come together and made this curriculum. So their curriculum is basically based on 5 things. That is computing systems, networks and internet, data and analysis, algorithms and programming, and what are the impacts of computing, like topics like cybersecurity and all. So basically they have covered everything. In our curriculum also, which is going right now in India, most of these things are covered. It's not like that we are not covering these things. We are also covering these things. But the only problem is we are covering in a scattered manner, right? So for ending that thing, for bringing or making our curriculum at par with the best curriculums in the world, we have started Codju. And our aim is to have, by 2030, every student in India should have access to high quality, affordable, equitable digital education. In India right now, there are many companies like Whited, Junior, Codingle, etc., who are teaching coding to students, but they're charging like more than the school fees for online coaching. They charge 30, 40, 50, 60, 70,000 rupees for 6 months course. So not every Indian can afford that. So we want to bring that cost to 1,000 rupees, and so that we can give it to every Indian, every student who needs it. So what is our curriculum, what we are focusing at? So we have researched a lot, and we have designed our curriculum with 3 pillars. First pillar is the fundamental of computers. Second pillar is the digital skills. And last pillar is coding. Digital skills is something, if somebody doesn't want to go into coding per se, he or she should know many things which are going to be useful for his or her future. Digital skills like website development without knowing HTML, right? Digital skills like Photoshop without even knowing Photoshop, using tools like Canva. Digital skills like video editing so that he or she can launch her YouTube channel. That is the future. So these are the things which I think uh, are most important for students. So in fundamentals, we will be covering computers, internet, AI, robotics, cyber security, everything from class 1 to class 10th. We will take up a thing and we will make it base and increase the difficulty level as we progress. In digital skills, we will be covering everything about email, browser, Word, presentation, Excel, Canva, YouTube, blogging, chatbot, microbit, everything. So that if the student is in any school from class to 1 to 10, he or she will learn everything, or at least the basics of everything. And in coding, I think Python is the base for most of the developments these days. So we are starting with block-based coding using Scratch, Scratch Junior, then Python, web development, app development, and game development. Now, when I showed this curriculum to some teachers, they told that, sir, आप तो ठीक है, अच्छी बात कर रहे हो, लेकिन हमें तो आता नहीं है इतना, और हमारे को बड़ी दिक्कत हो जाएगी. So for that very reason, first we are going to teachers. We will be training them. We will be giving them what they need. Once they feel empowered, then the students will automatically. So that is the end of first session. So we will be now starting with the AI. And when we let you fill the form, AI was the most discussed topic in that form. Almost everyone was favoring that AI should be covered in the presentation. So I will hand over to Sarika, and Sarika will start the AI part.
Thanks, Rohit. Very good overview of what we are trying to do, why we are trying to do this. And we will switch over to AI. All of you have joined us. And there are 2 key things that we are going to learn today, even if you have not heard of the term artificial intelligence before, cyber security before. My goal is going to be that you go away from this meeting, learning about both of these topics and being very confident in teaching your students or your kids or your family about it. There is absolutely no prerequisite. So no need to worry about these hi-fi terms like artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. Okay. So I am going to dive right in because it's a Sunday. We all want to go spend time with our families and being respectful of the time. Let's just dive right into it. I'm going to share my screen. Please tell me if you can, when you can see it. Okay. Is my screen visible? Rohit, can you confirm?
Yeah, it is visible. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. So AI or artificial intelligence, same thing. AI is the short form of artificial intelligence. Let's start with the very basics. What exactly is artificial intelligence? So I'm assuming all of you are computer teachers and you teach coding to your students, maybe starting from class 6th, 7th, or 3rd, 4th, if you're teaching logo. So those are simple computer programs. Simple computer programs, what you do is you write lines of code and a computer will sequentially process those lines of code and do exactly as you tell them to. Okay, so if you use a calculator in a computer, that's a simple program. This Zoom meeting that we have, that's a simple program. There is no magic. That's not artificial intelligence. A complex software is not artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is the science, is the computer science of making computers intelligent. Intelligence, by intelligence, what do we mean? We mean that they can do something more than exactly what we have told them. They can apply logic themselves. We should be able to teach them to behave like humans and show intelligence. Not exactly human intelligence, but something like it. That's why we call it artificial intelligence. They are not intelligent by default. They are artificially intelligent. So artificial intelligent machines have the ability to learn, to reason, and to problem solve beyond what is written in the code. Okay. For example, creating new songs, images. We cannot write code to create new songs. If we wrote the code, then it becomes a simple computer program. I'll show you two examples. We will keep it very fun, and there will be lots of examples that we will cover throughout the session so that it becomes, you're able to appreciate what artificial intelligence is able to achieve. So this is a very, very recent development in artificial intelligence, and I'm going to show you the most recent advancements in artificial intelligence. Where are we today? And that's amazing. So this is Dall-E, and Dall-E is able to create new images by themselves. And the amazing thing is, by looking at Dall-E, we are able to now understand, are artificial intelligent machines like humans? How do they view the world? What do they think of when we tell them a word? So I'm going to show you an example here.
Have you ever seen a polar bear playing bass? Or a robot painted like a Picasso? Didn't think so. Dall-E 2 is a new AI system from OpenAI that can take simple text descriptions like a koala dunking a basketball and turn them into photorealistic images that have never existed before. Dall-E 2 can also realistically edit and retouch photos. Based on a simple natural language description, it can fill in or replace part of an image with AI-generated imagery that blends seamlessly with the original. It's called inpainting. In January 2021, OpenAI introduced Dall-E, a system that could generate images from text, like this avocado armchair. Dall-E 2 takes the technology even further with higher resolution, greater comprehension, and new capabilities, like inpainting. It can even start with an image as an input and create variations with different angles and styles. Dall-E was created by training a neural network on images and their text descriptions. Through deep learning, it not only understands individual objects, like koala bears and motorcycles, but learns from relationships between objects. And when you ask Dall-E for an image of a koala bear riding a motorcycle, it knows how to create that or anything else with a relationship to another object or action.
So I hope you understood what this video was trying to do. Using AI, we have trained a system. Dall-E has trained a system such that if you tell them koala bear on a motorcycle, it is able to create these images. These are not images it is trying to search like Google does. It is creating these images on the fly. That's amazing. And you would have heard a lot of terms if you paid attention to the subtitles or the sound. It is saying, talking about deep learning, neural network, learning with data. We are going to cover all of it, and it is all of these terms will become very obvious to you by the end of this session. So this is one example. I found that very interesting. Another one is Jukebox. Images, because we are very familiar with Google search, maybe it is not as amazing to you. It's very amazing to me. A Jukebox goes one step further. Here, AI is able to create new music on its own. And we always talk about how can machines be creative? Well, here is an example where a machine is being creative. And I'm going to play this music. A lot of you might have kids, and now maybe you have older kids. You may not have heard of this nursery rhyme, but this is a nursery rhyme. It goes something like, 5 little ducks went out one day. right? A little bit funny. And what these folks have done is they have asked the AI machine to give a new music, to create an absolutely new music for this nursery rhyme in a pop version. So let's see what it came up with. So that is very sweet, and it's actually pretty catchy. So I would say it was very successful in creating good music. All right. So I hope you understand what artificial intelligence is, because you cannot code these kind of things. You cannot code them to create new music. So it's very different from normal computer programs that we write. So I'm going to ask you a quick question. Please type in the chat box. Can you think of 3 different ways you have experienced AI, and let's say in the last week or last couple of days? How do we experience AI day to day? Can we get a couple of answers? Okay. Yep. Door opened with AI is one example that I got. So I'm going to cover a couple of things, and it should, hopefully it makes it clear that it is actually, AI is in our lives all day long. You're using it all the time. And that's why we need to understand what AI is, right? So let's say you woke up in the morning, you have a smartphone, all of you would have, and if it's an Apple phone or OnePlus, the 2 of us use those 2 phones. You open your phone with face recognition. Face recognition. You cannot code computers to identify your face with all the makeup, with glasses, without glasses, morning, with open hair. It only AI can do it. It is artificial intelligence that is able to recognize your face in every possible variation. Social media. The second thing that you probably do is you look at your Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, social media of your choice, and all the suggestions that it shows you. So how does it know that morning 6 a.m. you wake up, they must show you bhajan songs. And if it is evening, probably some cooking suggestions. How does it know? It is this whole personalization and recommendation system is AI. It identifies your behavioral patterns, time of the day, what everybody is looking at, what's a hit and what's viral. And then it gives you a curated feed for you. Online shopping. If you go to Amazon, it knows it's Raksha Bandhan and it's going to show you Raksha Bandhan items and articles, right? For example, we just recently had a baby, and if I have ordered a diaper 30 days back, it's automatically going to show me that do you need to reorder this. So it's that interesting, and it's that intelligent. Travel. So now we want to leave the home and we want to go to school. You take out Google Maps and it is able to show you based on time of the day, where is the traffic more, the shortest path, right? If there is some blockage, it is able to tell you all of that in real time. That's amazing. Entertainment. Alexa, Google Nest. Alexa, maybe a lot of you have used Alexa, or it's basically a voice-based system where you can ask it questions and it responds to you. It is able to understand you. It is able to understand what the question is. It is able to understand even if a 5-year-old is talking to it. They can't even talk in proper sentences yet, and it's able to understand everything and respond to it. So that's what artificial intelligence is. Security. Nowadays, security is not manual, that we have humans sitting behind every camera feed that comes from thousands of cameras in bigger organizations or all over the city of Delhi. It is basically all automated, and AI is looking at videos all the time and seeing if somebody is trying to do something malicious and raising an alarm, right? So these are all the interesting ways AI is in our lives all the day. If you have a mobile phone, it's in your life all the time. Okay. Now in industry, so this is in our personal life. In industries also, AI is used for in actually every single industry to make it more productive, to reduce redundant work that is done by humans, to bring down the cost of labor, because you can do a lot of things by training, making bots, either software bots or actually robotic bots also, and making them artificially intelligent, because only then they are able to do complex tasks like humans. So it is used in customer support, wherein you chat with it. So in WhatsApp or Swiggy, sometimes they don't give you the order as the correct order. Sometimes Amazon doesn't give you the right order, and you have to chat with these chatbots, right? You first have to chat. They ask you to chat, and then they will connect you to customer success representative. That chat is completely automated. There is no human who is chatting with you. It's all completely automated, and it is not hard-coded like a normal software. It is actually intelligent. It is a little bit more than hard-coded software because it can answer a variety of questions. So customer support, cyber security, I talked about video surveillance. There are so many more uses of AI in cyber security. Robotics, all robots are intelligent. Some of you in India, it's not very used very much, but let's say if you go in Singapore, the cost of maid who cleans your home is very high. So what they use is they use those circular robots which will clean your home. It's so intelligent. It will clean every corner of your home by creating paths, knowing if there is some wall, not heading straight into a wall, taking turns, knowing that I have cleaned this area, I have to clean the other area. Very, very smart. Healthcare. In healthcare, this is one amazing application of AI. Nowadays, AI can do much better diagnosis than doctors can do. There are so many surgeries that AI is able to do with much higher success rates, right? Because no human is involved. In very, very small surgeries like eye surgery, heart surgery, AI is used because the precision is extremely high, even higher than humans. E-commerce, that we know that Amazon tries to sell us things all the time. The ads that you see when you are visiting news websites, how does it know? You think about weight loss, it will show you like 500 things about weight loss. That is magic, right? But that's exactly how AI works. Okay. So we covered about what exactly is AI, took a lot of examples. I hope you understood what AI is, how it is different from normal software programs, where all it is used. Because now I'm going to dive into exactly how does AI work? How do we build AI? How is this magic happening? And we will break down that magical aura around AI and make it very obvious to you. Okay. So how does AI really work? Simple computer programs, we all know that. I'm hoping all of you have done simple things with Python. Let's say A plus B, C is equal to A plus B, print C. It will print a number. It will do a mathematical computation. That is simple computer programs. AI programs are also simple computer programs, but with a different intention. The computer program is not learned to do something that you exactly ask it to do. It is not a set of rules. It is not a set of rules. What we do in that program, and that program is known as machine learning program. We write a machine learning program. As you can understand from the name, it is called as learning. So we write a program that is capable of learning. That's how we build artificially intelligent computer programs. How does it learn? What does it learn from? Think of a 1-year-old baby or a 2-year-old baby. How do you teach them language? You show them a car and you say, hey, this is a car. You show them water and you say, hey, this is water, right? You show them, are you hungry? Are you hungry? Do you want food? And that eventually the baby learns that what is food? When is it hungry? What does it mean to be hungry? What does it mean to be full? Okay, that's exactly how you teach computer programs also using machine learning. Machine learning are techniques and algorithms. Algorithms is basically techniques. Algorithms that are capable of learning if you feed them data. So if I use a machine learning algorithm, if I write a machine learning algorithm myself in a computer, and then I constantly feed it. Here is a picture of a dog. This is known as dog. Here is a picture of a cat. This is known as cat. And I give it, let's say, 100 examples. It will get very good at identifying by looking at an image and identifying whether it is a cat or a dog. That is what is known as machine learning algorithm. So machine learning is an algorithm that you use to create artificially intelligent computer programs, right? Artificial intelligence is what a computer has. Machine learning is how you train it to do that. So if you give a computer programs that take a lot of data and what that data means, basically lot of cat pictures, and tell them that it is a cat, it will be able to automatically learn the rules. You don't have to write the rules that it should have 2 ears, 1 tail, 1 body. No, you don't have to write anything. You just give it examples. It will learn the rules by itself. Then it will become artificially intelligent. So I hope this is clear, because if this is clear, then you pretty much understand 60% of artificial intelligence already. Let's take one example. So you do Google search, and I'll share a small story here. When I was in IIT Kanpur and in my 4th year, I was going to, in my 3rd year, I actually went to US in Microsoft research. And I came back and I sat for my placements for a job. And I said that, you know what, like I have been to Microsoft. I like Microsoft. I want to go to Microsoft and I want to work on in machine learning. So where is the biggest use of machine learning at that time? Search engine was very popular. I'm talking about 2010. So we, all of us uses Google. We know that, you know, nowadays, again, like to our kids, we don't have to answer. If you have any question, if kids have any question, we say that please ask Google, don't ask us. So it has made our life very easy. This is another example of how AI makes our life very easy. Bing is Microsoft's search engine. If a lot of you have a Windows machine, then Bing is the default search engine, and we change it to Google sometimes, but maybe some of you are familiar with Bing. So I used to work for Bing, and we used to train the Bing search engine to make its search much better for you. So in the backend, you know, when you type a query like, let's say, what do I do for fever? There are about 1 billion documents that it looks at. But it gets so good after all the machine learning algorithms that we feed into it and all the data that it has, that it looks at, it gets so good that the best result will be in the top 3 documents. 3 out of a billion. A lot of the times in the first document itself. Okay. So that is how it works. So what we do is we look at all the clicks. So what I used to do in Bing, I would look at the query as in the search that you type. What do I do for fever? And I would look at what are the documents that people are actually clicking for. So day one, my search algorithm will be very bad. But after a lot of data, it will become very good. Let's say if a person is constantly clicking at the 5th result, I will make it the first result next time. So that is exactly how we train the artificial intelligent search algorithm that powers Google or Bing. So I'll take a pause. Thank you for your feedback, by the way. Let's keep it interactive and just share feedback whenever you have understood something. So by this time, what I expect from you is that you have understood basically how artificially, at a very large, high level, how artificially intelligent software works and what is machine learning and how do you train it with data. Okay, so that should be clear. We are going to do an example activity right now ourselves, and that will make it super crisp. All right. So let's go dive into the activity.
The same activity we are going to share with you, you can use in your schools and do it with your students as well.
All right. So we're not going to look at the video because we already know how AI works and what is machine learning. So don't worry about reading it. If you read it, that's good. But in short, this is the AI. Is my cursor visible? Rohit, can you confirm?
Yeah, it's visible.
This is the AI or the software program. It just looks like a bot, but it's a software program. What we are trying to do is we are going to train the AI to differentiate what is a fish as in machli, and what is not a fish. Okay. So that is the context. So right now, this AI doesn't know if something is a fish or is it trash. Trash as in kachra hai ki fish hai, we have to identify. It doesn't know that. but it has some machine learning algorithm that if you give it some examples of data, very quickly it will learn from it. Okay, so it has some software that has the ability to learn, but it doesn't know what is the difference between a fish and a not a fish. So what we are going to do is we are going to feed it some examples, and then we are going to see that is it able to learn or is it not able to learn. So we are training it right now. This step is known as training of the artificially intelligent bot. So let's train it. Is this a fish? No, it's not a fish. Not a fish. No, no, no. This is a fish, not a fish. So AI, yeah, so this is an important point, that the algorithm that is there, it will simply learn from whatever we mark as a fish or not. It is not, it doesn't have human intelligence, right? So if you incorrectly label it, it's going to learn the wrong things. So we have to be careful and do the right things. Okay, I'll just do a few more fishes and that's it. Now we will do continue. So let's see. So you see the green ones are it's identifying as fish. It marked one as incorrectly. So this was incorrect. This was correct, incorrect, correct. So it's pretty good, but not 100% accurate. With more examples, it will get much better. All right. Okay. So this is what it identifies as fish. We see that there are two tires that it is identifying as fish because we probably didn't tell it that a tire is not a fish. We didn't see that example. I am hoping we'll pause this activity here, and I'm hoping that this gave you a very good understanding, very thorough understanding of how do you train machine learning algorithms to build an artificially intelligent machine. So training machine learning artificial intelligence should be clear by this point. Okay, so we are going to go into some more technical terms now. There are various different tools to create artificial intelligence machines. We talked a lot about machine learning. There are few more terms that you will hear nowadays a lot. So deep learning is one of the very technical terms, but it's not a very hard thing. It's simply one of the algorithms of machine learning. There are many kinds of algorithms in machine learning, many different ways a computer can learn to learn. But deep learning is one of them. It has become extremely popular because it is very, very capable. It can learn very hard things extremely fast. And it is modeled by looking at human brain. So somebody wrote a piece of software which is modeled exactly how human brain's neural network works. Exactly the way a human learns. And that is what we encoded in software. We fed a lot of data and we realized that machine is able to learn extremely fast. Probably that's why humans are able to learn very fast. Okay. So that's what deep learning is. It is a kind of machine learning algorithm. Computer vision. Computer vision is again a kind of algorithm which gives computers the ability to look at a picture and understand what it is, right? So it will look at an image of a human and it will be able to know where is the eye, which way is the person looking, what is the hair, what is the lips, ears. You guys might have used a lot of filters or beautification or Snapchat filters where it changes your faces into, dogs, cats, whatnot, and it will do various things to your face. I will not go into the details, but you can see how accurate it is in knowing exactly where is your nose, where is your eye, where is your cheek, right? That is what computer vision is. So internally, it is using computer vision algorithms to exactly see and view and figure out what you are. Natural language processing is another class of algorithms or techniques which help the computers to understand voice and speech input, right? Speech or text. Basically, if it knows words, then it can understand what these words mean. So if it reads this sentence, tools to create AI machines, it will be able to understand that it is about AI. AI is the key term here. AI means artificial intelligence. Automatically, it will understand. It understands what tools means. So this is what is used in machines like Alexa. And when you do Google search, the first thing when we in a search engine, because I've created one. So I'll tell you that the first thing that we do is we use natural language processing algorithms to break down your search and try to understand and convert it into a keywords that we think are important, like a human does. Okay, so there is grammar and then there are important keywords. That's how computers learn to understand text and also speak back, frame sentences themselves. Nobody has written a code to understand every sentence and create every sentence. It's not possible, like you would know, right? You can understand it's not possible to write every single answer. So it is all artificial intelligence. So these four terms are the most widely used and most popular kinds of algorithms that people use in conjunction to train highly efficient, highly powerful artificially intelligent machines. Okay, so that all seemed very complex. Can we build one ourselves? Is it possible? Let's see. So we will build our own AI in 5 minutes. That's what we are going to do. But before we dive into it, I do want to pause and say that technology has come a long way. Today, if you want to build an artificial intelligent machine, you don't have to learn Python. You don't have to code on your own. You don't have to spend a year doing research or 10 years doing research. Somebody did that, all of that for us for the last about 3 to 4 decades. Right? That's how far technology has come. For 50 years, people have made things very easy for us. And we'll see how easy. And that is exactly why we need to teach kids latest technology. Latest technology is not about, just writing millions of lines of code and learning about Python and syntax and this and that. It's about being able to use technology to be extremely creative. Using technology has become very simple. So we'll train an AI and we'll see how you can do it without writing even one line of code. So this is a software by Google, which allows everybody to train an AI use on images or sounds or poses without any coding. Okay. So I'll do an audio project. So what is our goal? We are going to train an AI program that will be able to identify. If I say hello, it will be able to identify hello, bye. And if I say some other word, it will say that I don't understand this word. Okay. I'm going to do this live. Maybe it doesn't work, but we will give it a shot. So like I said, it's all about training. And what it needs is, it needs a sample of background noise. So I'm going to give it some background noise, anything that is garbage, okay? That is not hello and bye. Okay, good. So it needs actually training sample of what is not hello and bye also. That's equally important. Only giving it, we call this positive and negative examples. Only giving it positive examples is not enough. Hello. I'm trying to record. Don't assume that my speaker is not working. I'm just trying to record variations of hello. 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 Okay, so this should be given up, good enough. And I'm going to do another one, which is bye. 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 Okay, that's good enough. All right. So I have given it some examples. Now I'm going to train my machine learning model, which is using natural language processing algorithms, because we are dealing with speech here. So it already trained the artificial intelligence, or let's call it a bot. Okay. So here is the final output. It's listening to every word. So I'm going to make it off. So you look at this output, background noise, hello and bye. It will try to classify. So it is known as classification. It is trying to classify every word that it hears into either it is noise, hello or bye, because it only knows 3 words. We only have taught it 3 words right now. So I'm going to turn it to on and I'm going to say hello, hello, and some garbage word. And if it correctly identifies it, you should see it somewhere close to 80 to 90%. So let's see if it works. Hello. Hello. Bye. Hello. 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 Bye. Okay. So it's not very perfect, but you can see that it was able to do bye much better than hello because of the background noise that it has. It needs much more training. Why is it so? Because I trained 12 samples of bye, but only 8 samples. So if I give it more samples of hello in different variations, it'll do a much better job of hello. All right. So this is, we'll not go into the details of it, but I did want to see. This is the machine learning algorithm that it is using under the hood. We are definitely not going to go into the code, but what I wanted to show you is, look at it. It's so simple. It's only a couple of lines. Once it is trained, I can copy it. I can use it anywhere. I can use it to make any kind of project, right? So this is the beauty of it. And I'm also going to show you one more thing. So it's not very visible here. Okay. So I'll come back to this one and show you what exactly was I wanted to explain to you. So somebody asked a question if AI will replace jobs by 2030. We'll also cover that. Just hold on for a couple of minutes. Okay. So the algorithm that it used was a deep learning algorithm. We'll understand how it works. If you don't understand everything, that's perfectly fine. To identify hello and bye. How does it work? It works very much like human brain. It tries it. So here is an example in an image. If I give it an image of a dog, how does the artificially intelligent program understand it? It will understand it in layers, in different layers. First of all, it will only look at bits as in, okay, there is some pixels on the image. That's fine. Then it will identify the edges. Then it will put together the edges and figure out, okay, this is a circle, this is a line sort of a thing. And then it will identify the features that, okay, it's an ear and it's a nose. It doesn't know it's an ear and a nose, but it will know that these are certain specific features of this thing. And then if I find all of these combinations of features, most likely it's a dog. That's how it learns. So if we look at the AI that we just trained, you will see that there are layers in this one also. So these are the different layers because it used, you see, layers. There are 12 layers in this deep learning algorithm that was used to train our AI to identify hello and bye. So that's how it works. Don't need to understand all of this, but hopefully this gives you a very, very good feeling for what exactly AI is what is deep learning, and deep learning is type of a machine learning. So we understood how AI works. We also built an AI ourselves. So that's amazing. You guys have done a great job and come this far. Now, let's go to the very obvious question. If it's so powerful, is it going to replace all of us? What's the future of AI? Well, first to the positive side, okay? Yes, it's going to change every aspect of the way how we work and how we live. I can show you some examples, but it can magically write software for, I am a software developer. Most of the companies today are now starting to adopt an AI, we call it co-pilot, coding co-pilot and assistant who can write pretty much all of the code that we want to. If we just tell it that, let's say, I want to write a code to multiply two numbers, it can automatically generate code in any language, as in JavaScript, Python, Java, C, C++. You don't have to do a thing. Okay. This is app.copy.ai. If you have to write an article or a blog, right? Any people who do technical writing, content writing, as in like these websites have blogs, news, etc., anything, whatsoever you want to do, you simply tell it that here are some keywords, and it will be able to write automatically by itself. I wanted to show a demo of this. If we have time, we will look at it. It's going to be extremely fantastic and better. A lot of us are not able to drive vehicles. Well, no worries, because now we have self-driving cars. Self-driving cars, as in you can pretty much sleep in the car and go on a 24-hour car drive from one city to another. And it will be able to do all of it without you having to touch the steering wheel. That's how powerful self-driving cars have become. And already it is being used in US. It's not being only done in a experimental setting. It's being used on the roads in US very, very widely. And it has made Elon Musk, who is the owner of Tesla company, who invented self-driving cars, the biggest, the richest person. So that is the power of AI, both in a business sense and also in a real life sense. I'll show you two examples, which are the most fantastic examples.
Hi, I'm Sophia.
Some of you may have heard about Sophia. This is the most intelligent robot that is out there. It can speak and behave very much like a human. So we'll take like 30 seconds. We'll see for 30 seconds how advanced it is.
I might look human, but I am actually a robot. I am an innovative robot who uses sophisticated AI to communicate with humans. And as I interact with more and more people, I am constantly getting smarter. I have become a champion of innovation for the United Nations Development Program. I rub shoulders with world leaders, top business people, and celebrities.
Sophia the robot, everybody!
And now I'd like you to meet someone. Please welcome little Sophia. Little Sophia is a 14-inch tall robot that can do all the amazing things Big Sophia can do it in a smaller package.
Hey Sophia, if you could have a superpower, what would it be? I have a superpower. I can code.
Little Sophia can create a deep connection with others by making eye
So the reason I wanted to show you this
contact and recognition.
Little Sophia was actually developed to teach kids coding in schools. That's how important US visionaries think that it is, to teach our kids to code. And it can do a whole lot of things. So this Little Sophia's first use case is going to be for educational purposes, to become a teacher. So another thing that AI is going to be is that it is going to be like a science fiction movie. It's going to be extremely surreal. It is going to be a mix of humans and computers.
By recording from many.
So here we are going to see an example of how, again, Elon Musk's another company called Neuralink has inserted a chip inside monkey's brain, and the monkey is able to play this game. After only a few minutes of training, like the way we train, monkey will be able to play this game without using any control, only through his mind.
Neurons and feeding their activity into a decoder algorithm, we are able to predict Paige's intended hand movements in real time. First, We calibrate the decoder by recording neural activity as Pager uses the joystick to move a cursor to targets presented on the screen. As he's playing this game, we are wirelessly streaming in real time the firing rates from thousands of neurons to a computer. Using these data, we calibrate the decoder by mathematically modeling the relationship between patterns of neural activity and the different joystick movements they produce.
So it trained it exactly the same way that we trained the hello and bye example using the neural activity. Now, please notice, maybe some of you noticed, some of you didn't, that this joystick is now not connected. They have removed the connection and still he's able to play this game, right? What happens is if he wins in this game, he gets a mango juice out of this thing that he has in his mouth. That's why he wants to win. And he's able to do it automatically by just thinking about it. That's the magic.
After only a few minutes of calibration, we can use the output from the decoder to move the cursor instead of the joystick. Pager still moves the joystick out of habit, but as you can see, it's unplugged. He's controlling the cursor entirely with decoded neural activity.
So this is how it's going to look like. It's going to be able to allow people who cannot move, who are physically disabled, and allow them to do a lot of things. So there is a lot of power in AI, but it can become extremely common to have brain chips in probably like a couple of decades, pretty much like how we use phones, and it has infiltrated our lives. So, but there are still limitations of AI. So it doesn't mean that it will completely change the job landscape and all of us will have nothing to do, because AIs, they cannot have interactions like humans. It's still not as advanced as a human. It can imitate us, but it can't really replace us in the human touch part. It cannot be as creative as us because we still have to teach it to be creative in the way that we are teaching it to be. It can only be creative in that particular way. For example, it cannot think of extremely new inventions. For example, Elon Musk thinking about building a reusable spacecraft. It cannot come up with that. Okay, it cannot do new inventions. So these are the places and limitations of AI, which means that humans will be equally relevant as they are today. We'll quickly touch upon how AI is important in education and in the career landscape in the next couple of decades. Now, if we currently are in the fourth industrial revolution, right now, in this decade and for the next couple of decades, we are going to be in the fourth industrial revolution. So it's a great thing. I congratulate all of you that you have learned about artificial intelligence, because artificial intelligence is the centerpiece of current tech revolution. Artificial intelligence, along with biotech, robotics, autonomous vehicles, nanotech, IoT, 3D printing, is going to change the world around us, but AI is the centerpiece of all of it. That's how these become more powerful than just being a piece of machine. In the next 30 years, AI and digital skills will be extremely important. It is not going to replace us at all, but it's going to be very helpful to us. So it's definitely going to change the job landscape. So instead of doing the manual, repetitive, redundant sort of an activity like data entry, administrative work, bookkeeping, etc., we are going to be doing more creative sort of work, right? Like being big data specialist and machine learning specialist and information security analysts, right? So this is our new jobs will be around the things that AI has created. Lastly, this is the last, we have come to the last leg of it. I urge all of you to go share a couple of these activities, these fun activities with your students, your kids, at least one person that will enhance your learning as well as make them aware of what artificial intelligence is. And the learning outcomes that I think we should be promoting with artificial intelligence is not that they should become AI specialists and learn to code about artificial intelligence. It should simply be one. They should understand what AI is, and we should demystify it. It should not seem like magic to them. Okay. They should be, they should understand how AI is going to change our future. Why is it relevant for them? So that they can be creative with these things, these technology that they have. We should inspire them to be creative with AI. Okay. And we should instill a confidence in them, not a fear in them that this is very complex, right? Some of us might feel that it's very complex, not for us. we should instill a confidence in them that, you should be able to control this incredible technology and create the new future. And I have added a couple of links that you can use to train them with fun activities and fun videos. So that's it. I pause and please post any questions if you have some.
Also, we have shared a link for the Google form. Kindly give your valuable feedback. And after your question and answers, we will have a break for 10 minutes and then we will start cybersecurity. And I promise you that cybersecurity is even more fun to learn and to explore.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. And it's a hard session, but you all made it through. And I hope it's very helpful. So I'll meet all of you in 2 minutes for cybersecurity. Please take 5-10 minutes of break yourself.
We are not closing the presentation. It will keep on going like this, and we'll start at Sarika. Should we start at 12 or 11:55?
Let's start at 11:55. We can end early.
Yeah. We will be sharing the PPT. We will be sharing the link. Everything will be shared. Don't worry. You all will be getting emails. Our plan is to share whatever knowledge we have with you guys.
So Shikha ma'am has asked, which are the leading firms, AI firms in US and in India? So I talked about a few of them. Neuralink, again, is a company by Elon Musk. So he's changing our world, is the genius of this century. That's one of the most leading firms. There is Hanson Robotics, who is doing the most cutting edge work in AI and robotics. And the thing is that AI is part of every progressive company that is there. For example, I was working in Logic Hub, which is a cybersecurity startup. We are using AI to do cybersecurity. So there are no specific AI firms. Every firm is using AI in a very interesting way in their own industries. In India, again, similarly, all the leading firms are using AIs for their own technological advancement, but there are many startups which are actually finding new use cases for AI, which is very cool. All right. So I hope I am clear that every industry is already that exists is using AI, and then there are new startups which are finding new use cases of AI. I'll take a 2-minute break myself too. Thank you. I'll be right back.
So we are starting in 9 minutes and we will cover cybersecurity. You guys also have a break, have some tea, coffee or water, and we'll join you back at 11:55.